This meeting is now being recorded.
Doug, I take it to you.
Okay. Well, welcome everybody to this conference call, and thank you for taking the time for this policy board meeting and follow-up business session. One thing that I wanted to, as far as a process here, that I wanted to bring forward is since we are on a conference call, there's if you want to provide comment either under item 3, public comment not item for items not on the agenda, or the items 4 or 5, if you could either, if you're on the webinar part, raise your hand and Tony will let me know, give me a list or let me know who has raised their hand. Or if you're not on the webinar and you'd like to make a comment, if you could just say, Doug, this is, and let me know your name, and then wait for me to recognize you, and I will recognize you at that point and then take your public comment. I'm also hoping that people can be, as efficient as possible with their comments on this. If possible, to 3 minutes or less. And if everybody understands that, and I'd like you all to take a look at the agenda. And is there any changes to the agenda that anybody would like to make? Hearing none, is there any objection to approval of the agenda? Hearing none, the agenda is approved unanimously. The next item on the agenda is public comment for items not on the agenda. Is there anybody who would like to make public comment for items that are not on the agenda? Hearing none, we'll move on to item number 4. This is a review of a non-compliance finding from the Summer Flounder Scup Black Sea Bass Management Board. The motion before us from that board is as follows. Move the Summer Flounder Scup and Black Sea Bass Board recommend to the ISFMP Policy Board that the state of New Jersey be found out of compliance for not fully and effectively implementing and enforcing Addendum 28 to the Summer Flounder, Scup, and Black Sea Bass Fisheries Management Plan if the state does not implement the following measures by May 25th, 2017. Shore mode for Island Beach State Park only, 17-inch minimum size limit, 2 fish possession limit, and 128-day open season. Delaware Bay only, west of the Coalregs line, 18-inch minimum size limit, 3 fish possession limit, and 128-day open season. All of the other marine waters east of the Coalregs line, 19-inch minimum size limit, 3 fish possession limit, and 128-day open season. The implementation of these regulations is necessary to achieve the conservation goals and objectives of the FMP to end overfishing of the summer flounder stock. In order to come back into compliance, the state of New Jersey must implement all of the measures listed above as contained in Addendum 28 to the Summer Flounder FMP. This is a board motion, so it does not need a second. And is there any discussion on this motion?
This is Tom Fody. I'll make it brief,
Tom.
Doug. I'll make it brief.
Okay.
3 points. One, this motion was put in effect because of recruitment and because we had bad recruitment for 4 years. This is not going to do anything for recruitment since we basically, the benchmark stock assessment in 2013 says supporting stock biomass makes no difference on recruitment. That's the first point. Second point is New Jersey did a lot of work on looking at conservation of basically hook and release mortality. Basically, we're going to do this one way or the other. Even if you vote us out of compliance, will we still be effectively putting that in? And I think that'll have more effect than some of the reductions that other states took. And I'll leave it at that. So I really, I understand why a lot of you will vote us out of compliance, but I basically said we're not really out of compliance. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Tom.
Doug, Larry Harity has his hand up, Doug.
Larry, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Larry Harity, Director of the New Jersey Division of Fish and Wildlife. And Russ Allen is enjoying his well-deserved vacation in Hawaii, and as my proxy, he's not on this call, I hope. It's safe to say that New Jersey opposes this motion, but let me tell you why. As I have heard many of you acknowledge in Virginia last month, it's difficult for New Jersey anglers to catch a 19-inch summer flounder, especially in the southern portion of our state. Yet we have been regionalized with New York and Connecticut, where catching such large fish is not an issue. Our economic analysis of the consequences for New Jersey accepting option 5 is that New Jersey's economy would suffer a $750 million loss in expenditures associated with the recreational summer flounder fishing. This is unacceptable to us. Additionally, in analyzing alternative measures in order to reach conservation equivalency, it became clear that both from the MREP and New Jersey Voluntary Angler Survey data that a 19-inch size limit would lead to discard mortality that exceeds legal recreational harvest. As a manager entrusted with a public resource, this too is unacceptable. I appreciate the review of our alternative measures by the technical committee and our discussion by the Flounder Board last month on this issue. After the technical committee used final 2016 harvest numbers, the data shows that the reduction of total mortality is less than we originally calculated. However, it is clear that no matter how you cut the bait, an 18-inch size 3-fish limit results in a greater reduction in total mortality than option 5 when compared to 2016 measures. Isn't that what we're ultimately trying to accomplish? I can appreciate that the technical committee concluded that our measures fall short of conservation equivalency compared to Addendum 28 when considering only recreational harvest limit. We knew that. However, I do not agree that acknowledging that there is a level of uncertainty regarding total discards mortality is a valid reason to reject our measures. We agree that there is much work to be done regarding this new method, which considers overall mortality as opposed to RHL. But we do not agree that we should wait to utilize this method when the analysis shows that there will be less overall mortality and therefore a less detrimental consequence to the flounder stock. I submit for your consideration that when there is a level of uncertainty, we as managers of a resource should err on the side of caution, and that is exactly what New Jersey proposed measures do. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Is there anybody else that would like to speak on the motion? Anybody in the queue, Tony?
There was no one else on the webinar that had their hand up, Doug.
Okay. I'd like to call the question then. Is there any objection to starting to take the roll call right now? Hearing none, Tony, will you take the roll call vote?
Will do. Maine?
Yes.
New Hampshire?
Yes.
Massachusetts?
Yes.
I believe Rhode Island is absent, but checking to make sure no one came on. Okay. And Connecticut?
Yes.
New York?
Yes.
New Jersey?
No.
Pennsylvania?
Yes.
Delaware?
Yes.
Maryland?
Yes.
DC is absent. No one came on. I believe PRFC is absent as well. Virginia?
Yes.
North Carolina?
Yes.
South Carolina?
Yes.
Georgia?
Yes.
I believe Florida is absent. Is that correct? And I also believe U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service is absent. Okay. And NOAA Fisheries.
Abstain.
Doug, my count was 12 yeses, 1 no, and 1 abstention.
Okay, the motion carries 12 to 1 to 1. Next item on our agenda is the New Jersey appeal considering the postponed motion. We have a postponed motion from the spring meeting, the move to postpone the New Jersey appeal of the summer flounder, scup, and black sea bass addendum 28 until the next ISFMP policy board meeting. Again, this is a motion that's now on the table because this is the next meeting. Is there any discussion or actions to be taken on this?
See if there's any hands up. Adam has his hand up, Doug.
Adam, go ahead.
Thank you, Doug. So I think when this motion was put forth at the in-person meeting that we had, the expectation was that this motion was really aimed towards the August meeting. Trying to deal with an appeal via a webinar, I think, we can all agree, is probably difficult at best and completely unreasonable at worst. To that end, the state of New Jersey is prepared to go ahead, and I'm not sure what the right way to move forward with it would be here, but we'd like to see the appeal taken up at the August meeting. So if this motion is before us at this point, if you prefer to vote it up or down, or we can just move to substitute to postpone to the August or to the summer policy board meeting, that would be New Jersey's preferred course of action at this point.
I would accept a motion to substitute to postpone the New Jersey appeal of the summer flounder, scup, black sea bass addendum 28 until the next the summer ISFMP policy board meeting.
Then I would make that motion, and I would specifically state the summer policy board meeting just in case some other unexpected issue should come up in the next 2 months.
That sounds reasonable. Is there a second to that motion?
Yeah, I'll second it, Doug. This is Pat from Maine.
Thank you, Pat. Discussion on this motion.
Doug, this is Bob Beal real quick. Procedurally, I don't think it really needs to be a substitute motion. What the effect of the motion that came out of the spring meeting was to, say this issue is going to come back up on the agenda at the next policy board meeting, which it has. So essentially, right now you've got an obligation passed along from the May meeting to tackle the appeal from New Jersey during this call. And I think Adam, rightfully said that there's some reasonable justification for pushing this off until the August meeting. So it really just it doesn't need to be a motion to substitute, just a motion to postpone until the summer meeting is appropriate. So we don't have to go through voting twice, essentially.
Okay.
It should be up on your screen if everybody's okay with the wording then.
Is a maker and seconder okay with that modification?
No objection from Adam.
Yeah, no objection.
Okay. Any discussion on this motion?
I raised my hand, Doug, so I'm not sure if we're still doing that, but it's Jim Gilmore.
Okay, Jim, go ahead.
Just a question to the service. So we've just voted a non-compliance final from the policy board, and essentially the commission will go through their procedure of notifying the secretary. Will this essentially appeal have any effect on that if we delay until August?
This is Kelly, Doug, and thanks for that question, Jim.
Go ahead, Kelly.
Yeah, in terms of process, once we get the letter from the commission, then we have 30 days to make our decision, and part of that process requires us to do a hearing with New Jersey. So I'm not sure that hearing the appeal in August would have any direct impact on that process. But if Chip is on the line, he should chime in if I've got any of that incorrect.
Doug, you also had Larry Harity and Pat Kelleher's hands up, and then Robert Boyles.
Okay, Larry, why don't you go ahead?
I didn't have my hand raised. If I did, it was by mistake.
Okay. Pat Kelleher, did you have your hand raised for comment on this?
Actually, I raised it prior to Doug. I should have clicked it again to shut it off. So no additional comments.
Okay, and then it was Robert Boyles you said was the other person with a hand up?
Correct.
Robert?
Good morning, Doug. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'd just like to the record reflect and reference to Jim Gilmore's comment that I believe we are moving straight in short order to a full commission consideration of this recommendation from the policy board. I'd just like the record to reflect in accordance with the charter that there will be no written statement that will emanate from the policy board prior to the full commission's consideration of this as outlined in Section 7 of the ISFMP charter.
Okay, thank you. Any other comments on this motion? Okay, hearing none, is there any objection to taking the roll call on this vote? Seeing none, go ahead, Tony, take the roll call again.
Thank you. Maine?
Yes.
New Hampshire?
Yes.
Massachusetts?
Yes.
Rhode Island is absent.
No, I'm here.
Okay. Sorry.
Yeah.
Thanks, David.
Yes.
All right. You said yes. All right. Thank you. Connecticut?
Yes.
New York?
Yes.
New Jersey?
Yes.
Pennsylvania?
Yes.
Delaware?
Yes.
Maryland?
Yes.
DC is absent. PRC is absent. Virginia?
Yes.
North Carolina?
Yes.
South Carolina?
Yes.
Georgia?
Yes.
U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, Florida is absent, as well as U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service is absent. NOAA Fisheries?
Abstain.
Doug, I have it count as 14 yeses and 1 abstention.
Okay, the motion carries 14 to 0 to 1. Is there any other items to come before the policy board right now? Hearing none, I will adjourn this meeting and we will move directly into the business session. We have an agenda here, and the primary purpose of this will be to consider the policy board's out-of-compliance recommendation for New Jersey on summer flounder. Is there any changes to the agenda that people would like to make? Hearing none, is there any objection to the agenda? Hearing none, the agenda is approved by unanimous consent. Is there any public comment for items not on the agenda? Hearing none, we'll move directly into the non-compliance finding. And for the record, I need to read this motion from the policy board into the record. Move that the summer flounder...
Doug?
Yep.
If you look at your screen, you will see the correct motion.
Okay, thank you. I will look at that.
Sorry for interrupting.
Thank you. On behalf of the ISFMP Policy Board, move the full commission find the state of New Jersey be out of...
Want me to turn it back on?
Excuse me?
Whoops. Want me to turn it back on?
There's someone speaking. Okay, I'm going to start this again. On behalf of the ISFMP Policy Board, move the full commission find the state of New Jersey be found out of compliance for not fully and effectively implementing and enforcing Addendum 28 to the Summer Flounder, Scup, and Black Sea Bass Fisheries Management Plan if the state does not implement the following measures by May 25th, 2017. Shore mode for the Island Beach State Park only, 17-inch minimum size limit, 2 fish possession limit, and 128-day open season. Delaware Bay only, west of the Colweggs line, 18-inch minimum size limit, 3 fish possession limit, and 128-day open season. All other marine waters east of the Colweggs line, 19-inch minimum size limit, 3 fish possession limit, and 128-day open season. The implementation of these regulations is necessary to achieve the conservation goals and objectives of the FMP to end overfishing of the summer flounder stock. In order to come back into compliance, the state of New Jersey must implement all of the measures listed above as contained in Addendum 28 to the summer flounder FMP. Again, this is a motion from the policy board, so it does not need a second. Is there discussion on this motion?
Doug, Larry Harity has his hand up.
Go ahead, Larry.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. For the record, I just want to put my earlier comments from the policy board on the record. I'm sure we're all the same players here. And also for the record, I want to note that New Jersey had asked to have this important meeting and vote in person, but was denied. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Larry.
We also have Roy Miller's hand up.
Roy Miller, go ahead.
Thank you, Doug. Out of curiosity, before we take our vote on this motion, I just wanted to verify what regulations are in effect from now until we meet again in August in New Jersey. Did they go ahead and implement the regulations that they proposed? Thank you.
That was my understanding, but I'll let Larry speak to that.
Yes, we did. We adopted the regulations as we proposed in Virginia. And they are in effect. Our season started May 25th.
Okay, thank you, Larry. Any other comment on this motion? Okay, Tony, can you take the roll call on this motion?
Will do, Doug. Maine.
Yes.
New Hampshire.
Yes.
Massachusetts.
Yes.
Rhode Island.
Yes.
Connecticut.
Yes.
New York.
Yes.
New Jersey.
No.
We can't use that then, right?
Yeah, don't use it.
Okay, so
Pennsylvania.
yes.
Delaware.
Yes.
Maryland.
Yes.
Virginia.
Yes.
North Carolina. North Carolina, I think your line is muted.
No, I think someone's text message hit at the same time I said yes. So, yes.
Thank you.
Thanks.
South Carolina.
Yes.
And Georgia.
Yes.
I believe Florida is absent. Okay. That is 13 yeses and 1 no.
Okay, the motion carries 13 to 1 to 0 to 0. Is there anything else to come before the business session? Hearing none, thank you all for taking the time to come and participate in this important meeting. And we look forward to seeing you all again this summer at the commission meeting in Alexandria. Take care and thank you.
Hello, is anyone still on?